This is pretty sad news, but there's lessons to be learned here. Bodybuilder and personal trainer Justyn Vicky, age 33, dies after the 460-pound weight falls on his neck during a squat attempt in a freak accident in the gym. Now, I'll include the video here, but I don't know how much I'm going to have to cut out for YouTube's restrictions.
Come on!
So here's the original video. He steps out, obviously looks a little bit wobbly, it's a lot of weight. His spotter is spotting from the wrong position, squats down, struggles to get back up, and then falls back with the weight on his neck, and there you go. There's a few things that went wrong here. Now, the weight he was trying to squat, 460 pounds, is equivalent of 210 kilograms. It clearly looks like the weight is too much for him to handle. Now, maybe he was going for the 1 rep max, but we've spoke about it multiple times on this channel. 1 rep maxes just aren't worth it. I've done 1 rep maxes in my past when I was doing a lot of powerlifting training, but now I don't do it anymore just because the risk-reward ratio just isn't worth it, especially when you're just trying to build muscle and be more athletic. But as I say, he's clearly a strong guy. Here's a video of him doing what looks like 180 kilograms. And it looks completely manageable. But as you get stronger and you get closer to your ceiling of strength, adding more and more weight becomes exponentially harder. So going from a 150 kilogram squat to a 180 kilogram squat is a lot easier than going from a 180 kilogram squat to a 210 kilogram squat. Even though they are both a 30 kilogram difference, the latter is going to be so much harder because you are that much closer to your strength ceiling. So the first mistake that this guy made was just simply going too heavy, using a weight that he couldn't handle. You should always train sub-maximally, meaning whatever your perceived 1 rep max is, and I emphasize the word perceived because really there's no need to test your 1 rep max. So whatever you perceive your 1 rep max to be, you want to be working with around 60 to 80, maybe 85% of that 1 rep max. Now, the second mistake that he made here was not using the safety bars or safety racks or safety pins, whatever you want to call them. You can see in the 180 kilogram squat that he was using them. He was squatting in a squat rack with the safety pins roughly around thigh height, meaning that if he had to bail out of the squat, he could just dump the bar back onto the pins or lean forward and just crawl out of the position. But in the 210 kilogram attempt, there was no safety pins, and this is where we get into the third mistake that he made, choosing a spotter who doesn't know what they're doing. Now, I'm seeing a lot of people talk about how this guy is spotting is completely wrong. It's not entirely true. Spotting like this is completely fine as long as the weight is light enough for you to just lift off someone's back, meaning if someone can't get up from that bottom position, as the spotter, you need to be strong enough to be able to lift that barbell off someone's shoulders. Now, you better be someone like Eddie Hall or Brian Shaw if you're going to spot someone like this. I'll be completely honest, I have a few clients who are doing 30, 40, maybe 60 kilogram squats, and I will spot them with my hands under the bar, because if the client fails the squat, I can easily just lift off 40 kilograms from their back. But if I've got one of my advanced clients who's going for 100, 120, 140 kilogram squat, I'm going to spot them under the armpits and under the chest, so that way if they can't get up, if their technique fails, I can literally use my arms as hooks and lift them up myself. Or worst case scenario, we still have the safety pins and the client just squats down and lets the bar drop forward onto the pins. The sad thing is, if this guy didn't have a spotter, he might still be alive today. He would have either dropped the bar back behind him, which is called dumping the bar, or he would have just fell forward and his head would have hit the floor. He might have got mildly concussed. Now, we don't know this for certain, but I think the reason why he didn't do any of these things is because he knew the spotter was there, and because the spotter is right up behind him, behind his back, you feel like you can't dump the bar because it's going to hit the spotter, and you can't dump the bar forward because the spotter's almost pulling back and up on it. So it's opposing directions. You're trying to dump the bar forward, he's trying to pull the bar up. So what happens is you end up just losing your balance, sitting down, and then the bar comes down on your neck and blah, you're dead. Very sad to see this. It was a completely avoidable accident. There was just some really poor decision making going on. So this is just a reminder, be safe in the gym. It's very easy to get hype and psyched up by watching all these Instagram reels and TikTok videos of training montages and everyone's lifting like insane animals. But remember, you should always practice good technique and use weights that you can handle for a full range of motion, and never be dependent on a spotter. If you need a spotter, then the chances are you're going too heavy. Really, there's no need for one. Rest in peace to this guy, Justyn. What do you guys think of this? Have you ever had any bad accidents in the gym yourself or seen it happen? I've seen a few in my time. Like this video and subscribe for more content like this. See you all tomorrow.